The Duke and Duchess of Sussex are resuming their normal lives back in the US with the return of Meghan Markle's Archetypes podcast yesterday and potentially a change of scenery on the horizon.
But insiders have also said the royal couple might be jeopardising their docu-series with Netflix after they reportedly requested significant edits. Well, here to tell us more about all of the above is Kinsey Schofield, live for us from LA. Good morning, or I should say good evening to you, where you are, Kinsey. Look, let's start, shall we, with Netflix, because we heard this about the book that Prince Harry was due to publish this autumn, immediately in the aftermath of their return after the death of the Queen. And now it appears as though they're sufficiently panicked by what they are doing to try and row back a little bit. But will they be allowed to?
Well, I want to read you word for word what page 6 their sources are saying, because I'm fascinated by this text. It says they've made significant requests to walk back content they themselves have provided, to the extent that some Netflix staff believe, if granted, it will effectively shelve the project indefinitely. They want to tone down even the most basic language, but it's their story from their own mouths. Now, Isabel, I feel like this is a constant conversation that we have. When are these people ever happy? It feels like they're not satisfied no matter what, whether it's their house, whether it's their documentary, whether it's their book. That is what we're hearing right now, that there is panic amongst Netflix and the Sussexes. Now, the Sussexes team, their Archwell production company, they say this is ready to go. This is good to go. It's Harry and Meghan that don't want it to be released in November, along with The Crown. And Netflix is siding with Archwell, the production company that Harry and Meghan have. And it's really Harry and Meghan against their production company and Netflix at this point. So only time will tell whether or not this documentary is released. Meghan told The Cut this is their love story. So only time will tell if it's released or not. But Netflix is really adamant that it is released along with The Crown on November 9th.
My question is why? Why are they panicked? What's changed, do we think?
Well, you know, when it says tone down even the most basic language, to me, they said things in the heat of the moment. They explained their situation, and they realize that they might offend people, or that they might have been hurtful with their words. I mean, that's how I interpret that language. I could be wrong, but it just seems like they were probably... Every time they talk about how they're finally able to speak. This is finally you getting to know the real me. So I think that they thought maybe they had more control than they originally had planned, had no idea that the Queen was going to pass and that, Harry's father was going to be king. And they might have gotten a little arrogant and cocky.
The Archetypes podcast that has come out, who has Meghan been speaking to? What's she been saying? And, is she measuring her words a bit more carefully there?
Well, we did not have any drops that could be related to the royal family in Tuesday's drop with Lisa Ling and Margaret Cho. It was about Asians, their stereotypes in film. She specifically talked about Austin Powers and Kill Bill. It was an interesting conversation. I think Lisa Ling is an amazing woman, and Margaret Cho is, I'm sure you're familiar with her comedy. Both great women, a good gets, and the Asian community is certainly appreciative of Meghan shining the spotlight on it. Are they a little disappointed that she had to go into their tasty noodles? Yes, they did. They felt like perhaps that within itself was a stereotype, but I think that everybody understands hopefully where her heart was with this specific episode.
Good to hear.
And just finally, before we let you go, Kinsey, they're moving house, apparently.
I mean, Paul, are you kidding me? This is Montecito, California. They are saying that the current house they have is currently not accommodating, so they're looking at Hope Ranch. Now, the Housing Association has had so many complaints about the couple wanting to move to the Hope Ranch area. Residents not necessarily... They don't have any issue with Harry and Meghan. It's just a very secluded, very private, and they don't want the traffic. So the Housing Association, the HOA in Hope Ranch, saying, maybe could you not? Could you look anywhere else in Santa Barbara?
I suppose they're a bit of a draw, aren't they? I had a friend who just came back from a trip to Montecito, and he was explaining to me that they turn the streetlights off at 10 p.m. because people just like... sustainable environment, and they love it to be quiet and peaceful. I thought it sounded absolutely gorgeous, and you've got the mountains, and you've got the bougainvillea and the vineyards nearby. How can you improve on Montecito? Sounds like heaven to me.
Come on over, Isabel. You've always got I've always got space on my couch for you. I'm outside of Montecito, but there's space for you.
I'll be there. Next flight. Thank you, Kinsey.
Thank you. Love you. Bye.